Make 5,000 likes to this video, we will implode more patriotic news. Thank you. Here's the reason why the Senate added $45 billion to the healthcare bill. In spite of the fact that we dislike it, we can't stay away forever to a period when the legislature wasn't destroying our healthcare. Whatever we can trust is that they pass laws that repeal unpleasant Obamacare and help address the gigantic expenses of health coverage. However, it appears we have far to go, particularly as they propose another costly extra. Via IJR, aside from the broader concern about the Senate health care bill, such as Medicaid cuts, one of the more specific issues that gets raised up consistently is that it does not deal adequately with the growing crisis of opiate abuse and addiction. The new changes earmark a minimum $45 billion more towards the opioid crisis, but critics argue that this does not work if opioid addicts lose their coverage in the first place. Grants, which would be how much of the money would be distributed, would largely go to 12-step recovery programs. Access to regular medical treatment, cognitive behavioral therapy, and drugs that treat opiate addiction would not be helped by such grants. This sort of concern features the issue with government-included health care. I question many individuals like the possibility of their tax dollars going to help individuals who abuse drugs. A large portion of us wants sick individuals to get the help they require. However, sedate addicts expedited this themselves. While they require help, does it request $45 billion from citizens? It's a tight spot. One of numerous, when you attempt to utilize tax dollars to pay for something as colossal as health care. A few of us would rather have the administration and such spending altogether. Yet, that won't occur at any point in the near future. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. HTIJR. Look what's been hacked now. This is more dangerous than the DNC email server. You'll be speechless. Libs in the media have been so fixated on the Trump worked with Russian hackers to win the election hypothesis, they've missed one of the greatest risks to the United States ever. Furthermore, it's occurring directly in front of them. Certainty is, while Russian hackers didn't work with Trump to win the decision, they attacked a few key government servers over the previous year. They're great at it, and they can cause upwards of a huge number of dollars of harm to a couple of terrible keystrokes, in the event that they access something delicate. Hackers are peerless. Make a note of that. So it ought to likely stress the mainstream media more when something more perilous than the DNC's treasonous messages is hacked. Something like, say, a nuclear power plant. Via Conservative Tribune, the computer system in at least one U.S. nuclear power plant was compromised by a cyber attack. A source told the news outlet that federal authorities were investigating the hack, which authorities called the ongoing matter. While no suspected culprit has been named, investigators are looking at the possibility that a foreign government was behind it. I'll leave you to envision the numerous ghastly and tragic situations that a hacked control plant could convey to U.S. soil. Fortunately, there's a splendid side. From what experts can tell, just a minor piece of the plant's systems were hacked. Along these lines, no urgent systems. Just the money-related systems. That is the uplifting news. The awful news? Read the last line again. Detected over recent months. So, this wasn't a one-time thing? This occurred again and again, finished a time of months? Regardless, you didn't see it? Pardon me, however, it doesn't give me certainty that you'll see the imperative hack when it comes. Unless you have an opportunity to take a gander at it months after the fact. You know. After the emergency. The scalawags behind the hack are as yet unknown. Be that as it may, dislike there's a deficiency of furious, savvy individuals who might readily take control of a nuclear power plant, on the off chance that they approached. Russia, China, North Korea, absolutely ISIS. It's a snatch sack of perilous U.S. foes. Furthermore, there's a decent possibility that one of them has been attempting to access a nuclear power plant. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. Conservative Government took $1.6 million of your tax dollars to spend on this. You'll be angry. With regards to fraud, waste, and abuse, most offenders and huge government spenders will stay nearby one of three major territories: Social Security, Medicare, and welfare. This isn't one of those spots. This sort of waste is new. You've most likely heard about 6 stories about the legislature paying individuals to reveal to us what we definitely know. Being obese is unhealthy. Well, much obliged, virtuoso. Smoking is terrible for you, you don't state. What's more, today, we have another one: drinking soda isn't good for you. And this specific pearl of a perception accompanies, sit tight for it, a $1.6 million price tag. The truth is stranger than fiction, $1.5 million, to have the capacity to tell individuals that soda isn't good for you. Via the Daily Caller, the National Institute of Health, NIH, awarded Augusta University physiologist Truth Harris $1.6 million to study the health effects of soft drinks on people. The 4-year grant will be used to determine why sugar sucrose is more potent, or cause weight gain faster, when poured in the form of a soda than when it is eaten as solid food. So, it's fair, we're not so much discovering that soda is bad for you, we're just trying to determine how bad. Interesting question, I guess. But I cannot see the answer worth $1.6 million. Or, on the other hand, any place near $1.6 million. Also, it's difficult to see exactly where every one of these costs is originating from. Physiologist Truth Harris will use lab rats for the study, feeding them sugar water and measuring their body's response. Harris research focuses on the hormone leptin, which helps control body composition. Possibly. Perhaps the rats are truly costly? Maybe we're having them transported in from Mars. The most amazing piece of this entire study is found in the caller's last section. The $1.6 million grant will cover 4 years of research, at the end of which Harris will have to finish her research on the project or reapply for more funding. Things being what they are, you're stating this could cost more than $1.6 million? Dear God. See, we should make this simple: soda is terrible for you. Try not to drink excessively of it. Problem solved, right? What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. H.T. The Daily Resignation. Look who Democrats expect to resign, not Pelosi but. It shouldn't be a mystery at this point. Liberals manage by sowing dread. It's their standard technique, and they're great at it, and now and then, they figure out how to do it to themselves. What's more, those days are about the most engaging days around. The actuality is, making individuals apprehensive of repulsive, non-existent results are the left's unparalleled political approach. The Republicans are harming the earth, the right is taking without end all health care perpetually, conservatives are bringing back racism, and so forth. Their trap is to make individuals ghastly afraid of something, so apprehensive that they'll begin to vote liberal. So it's more than satisfying to see a gathering of liberals ghastly afraid of what the future may bring in the event that one of their most loved government representatives resigns. Since the aggregate left all believe that Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy would step down for good. What's more, basically every liberal in America shouted as one. Daily Caller journalist Tam Barathi has gone along a few lib tweets about Kennedy's retirement. Also, well, amazing. Via Daily Caller, rumors are swirling that the Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy may announce his retirement Monday, and the liberals are afraid of the possibility of a conservative-leaning court. Liberals are fearing-mongering that basic human rights may be at stake if President Trump has the opportunity to replace Kennedy with a more conservative justice. More or less, liberals are probably the most intrigue-inclined individuals on the planet. The victims being trotted out before we contain a portion of the benchmarks the left has used to frighten American opportunities, but at the same time, there are considerably darker proposals, or, rather, recommendations that would basically be entertaining, if not for the way that liberals really trust them. Yes, That is right. On the off chance that Justice Anthony Kennedy resigns, Brown versus Board of Education will be overturned, and will come back to segregated schools. That is the thing that the left considers. I figure all that lying and fear-mongering at long last broke the collective liberal brain. Additionally, you incorrectly spelled Obergefell. Kopf much? I assume this would be the point to remind conservatives not to trust the standard liberal untruths. Be that as it may, if the falsehoods are this terrible, there's very little more to state. Kennedy could conceivably resign. However, it's protected to state that American liberals are presently past soundness. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. H.T. The Daily Caller. Governor Jerry Brown just got very bad news about his gas tax hike straight from the Republicans. We've discussed how wild Democrats are in California. Their widespread spending and the radical plan will assuredly decimate the once awesome state. Be that as it may, all's not lost. It appears there are more than a couple of Republicans who are battling to save their home. Via Free Beacon, California Republicans opposed to the latest gas tax increase said they have gathered more than enough signatures to launch a recall effort against Assemblyman Josh Newman, a recently elected Democrat whose surprising win gave his party a supermajority that could pass tax increases without single GOP vote. Carl DeMaio, a conservative San Diego talk radio host who is leading the recall effort, said Republicans opposed to the latest gas tax hike. Newman submitted 84,988 signatures for the recall effort on Tuesday, nearly 20,000 more than the 63,592 the law requires. The overwhelming number of signatures we have collected for just 6 weeks demonstrates a real rebellion is brewing in California against out-of-control tax raisers in the state legislature, DeMaio told the Washington Free Beacon. The gas tax hike is only one of numerous loathsome thoughts proposed by Governor Jerry Brown. This blockhead needs to drive a radical, socialist motivation on the state. He needs to finance every one of the projects for illegals and lawbreakers, to his inept environmental plans. That cash needs to originate from someplace. Along these lines, a monstrous gas tax hike, something no one can dodge, is the arrangement. This is ideal out of the liberal playbook. Rebuff persevering subjects, the ones that help the state, with a specific end goal to profit the freeloaders and officials. The way that such a large number of individuals marked the request of demonstrates there are numerous in California who aren't bringing this socialist takeover resting. They won't let damaging plans of Brown to sink their state. Be that as it may, will it be sufficient? We'll need to sit back and watch. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for reading. H.T. Free Beacon.